All right, guys, we are live. I'm back home in Chicago after being with Dylan yesterday. So I figured I'd do another Q&A, see how everything's going. While we're waiting for people to come in, couple quick notes. As always, if you are interested in coaching, macrosinc.net. If you are watching this on YouTube, you should definitely join in on our Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for Macros Inc. It's a group with over 20,000 people in it. And let's just go ahead and get started. One of the things I want to talk about is the holidays. I kind of went with the saying over Thanksgiving, don't eat like an asshole. And that is, I think that really still holds true. Don't eat like an asshole. You can't. You have to eat like a grown-up if you want to hit your goals. But I think that having a plan is pretty important to all of that. So you need to look down, and one of the things I've been doing with my clients for the past couple of weeks is asking them any parties, events, what are your plans for Christmas, and you need to plan ahead of time and make sure that all of that stuff is in line with what you want to do. If you do, for me for example, we don't do a whole lot of Christmas things. Christmas Eve with my grandparents, Christmas Day with my wife's family, and this year for Christmas Day we're literally just in our house and having Chinese food. So I only have 2 days where I really need to plan. We don't do parties. We don't have anywhere to go, no company parties or anything like that. So it's 2 days. I have one client who is 2 days I need to plan for. I have one client who is 18 or 19. Emma is prepping for a bikini competition over the holidays. She's slightly insane, I think. But she has been in prep for 9 weeks, and she's down 10 pounds right now and just kicking ass. So one of the things that we started prep a little bit early because I figured there'd be, first off, you're 18, 19. I didn't think that she'd be as awesome as she is. She's hit her calorie macros every single day. Hasn't had one slip-up day and just works her ass off. So we have some wiggle room. So what we're doing, and I figured the holidays would be a little sloppy. They're not. She's perfect. One of the things we're doing is taking off calories for 3 days before. We're dropping 100 calories each day. And then she's not tracking Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And then the 26th, 27th, 28th, she's dropping off another 100 calories every day. And then she's right back to normal. She is good enough at tracking and responsible enough that she knows she's not going to go out and eat an entire pie. And if she does, I know for a fact that she'd eat lighter the next day. She's smart enough to take that into account. You have to know your plan. I have other clients who don't want to do that. Their calories are low already. They said, I can't go lower another 100. And we have gone and give them a whole diet break. From December 24th until January 1st, they're on a diet break. And that's fine. They said, I might track like 2 or 3 days in between. If you want to. Just make sure you're working out. Make smart decisions. Don't go nuts. But you need to make sure you have a plan. And the important thing is to say, I'll start dieting after the holidays. You're setting yourself up for disaster. You're going to diet after the holidays. What the hell does that mean? Do you have everything set up? Why not just diet now and stop for a day or two? And that way you've worked out the kinks in your system. So planning ahead is key. It's just don't go into the holiday and say, I'm going to diet for up till the day before Christmas. Whatever happens, Christmas happens, and then I'll probably start back up. Because if you don't have that plan, what's going to happen is you have leftovers. And then the 26th, you'll have leftovers. The 27th, it's New Year's is coming up. So I'll just go till New Year's, and then you hit January 1st. I got that birthday. We're doing a late Christmas with my friends next Saturday, so I might as well just keep bridging the gap. So make sure that you have a plan and are going forward. Any questions at all, just type them out as we go. It makes it a lot easier. I am watching the feed off of 2 things, so we don't have Dylan's problems like he had over the weekend where he doesn't know how to use a computer. Thank you for the beard gains. This is my Star Wars beard, which is coming off probably tonight or tomorrow. So if anybody did not see Star Wars, go see it. I've seen it twice already. I'll probably see it again tomorrow. So you should probably go see it. Questions. People are watching. Nobody's asking questions. All right. Let's talk about planning a little bit more. So the reason I delayed this 15 minutes, I was just going to go live and start. One of the reasons that I delayed this is I need to eat. So one of the things that I have eaten, I went back in MyFitnessPal. I was thinking about this when I was eating. I said, I eat pizza almost every day, if anybody does not know that. and I've said, how many days have I had pizza? So I have I think it was 900 or 1100 day streak in MyFitnessPal or something like that. So I went back and I knew approximately when there was about 500 or 600 days of pizza I've had in a row, and I have had pizza for 550 of the last 610 days. 550 of the last 610. When I'm traveling, it's not as easy to get in, but I have frozen little pizzas. So the little tiny home run in, individual, ultra thin crust, 220 calories per pizza, or 290 for the sausage. And I plan it every day. I love pizza. So make sure that you're planning. I plan ahead, and I know that I can fit that in, and it works absolutely perfect. And then I never really crave pizza. Me and Dylan were out the other day, and Dylan ate an entire pizza. It was disturbing. But yeah, he did not plan that. But yeah, I love pizza, so I can eat it all the time. I plan it and I have it. All right, questions. Scott said, creatine, slam it all at once, or is it fine to drink it over a longer period of time? Define longer period of time. Over a day? I'd probably just drink it and get it over with, which is what I do. I drink it immediately post-workout. I don't know of any studies that say over like an hour is better than 5 minutes. I wouldn't slam it just because I wouldn't want to, but I don't see anything wrong with it. Sorry, my computer's not... Brittany Sin, hip dips. Should I worry about them after I cut and build them up? After I cut and build them up when I bulk. Hip dips. I'm assuming you mean hip thrusts, Brittany. I assume. Hope. When should I worry about them? I would just do them all the time. If you try to build up your glutes, if that's what you're talking about, if you're trying to build up your glutes, do them. Work them in. I do hip thrusts. I'm in a bulk. I do hip thrusts. Cutting, I would say you definitely need to do them, especially as a female, because you're going to lose your butt real quick. If that's what you mean, I would just do them all the time. Your ass will get bigger when you are bulking. It'll get smaller when you're not. Creatine question I already answered. Alex Deadman, are there any bios for coaches, admins posted anywhere? Always been curious about people's backgrounds and such. There are not. I have a template written out. I will make a promise. We will get them done by January 1st. At least I will tell everybody to have it done by January 1st. Mine will definitely be done. Brad's responsible. He'll do it. Dylan's kind of a renegade, so he won't do it. I don't know if Kelly's even real, so she probably won't, and Corey will probably have it done. But we will get them done, and then we'll get them out to the moderators too, so you guys can do that. So if people ask, we have some written. Good point. It's always kind of been my goal, and I slacked on it. That's my fault. My bio would be just I'm kick ass. So there you go. I'm your hero for eating pizza all the time. Sarah, are macros calculated differently on non-weight training days? It depends. I have clients who have the same macros all 7 days. I have clients who have macros different every day of the week. It depends on what your training is and things like that. It depends on what else you're doing. Typically, if you're just trying to keep it easy, you're doing this by yourself, just eat the same macros every single day. If you're running, a little bit different. If you're an endurance runner, a little bit different. If you're training twice a day, a little bit different. Depends how many days, things like that. But just keep it simple. Same every day, unless you're doing something crazy. Rachel, yes, Coach Bios, they're coming. Emma Arms is here. I just talked about you, Emma. Watch the replay. I talked about you in the very beginning and how you're kicking ass. No hip tense in your body. Let me go back to your question real quick. I don't know what you're talking about, Brittany. I'm sorry. Maybe you can shoot me a PM or a picture or something. It's an indentation. Oh, just in the glutes. Yeah, I don't think I get the question. Like when you stand, you have an indent in your glute, and then, but you're worried about it filling out. Is that what you mean? Can I tell you the brand and where I get my little pizzas? Yeah, they're Home Run Inn ultra thin crust pizzas. I think we get them on Target. You can buy them on Amazon. Even has them if you have Amazon Fresh. The grocery stores all in Chicago, because that's where Home Run Inn is from, have them. I think you can actually order them at homeruninn.com, and they ship them to you. But they're Home Run Inn individual size ultra thin crust. Rachel, heck, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't finish the intro workout drink flavored water with creatine during my workout and finish it later in the day. Any issue with that? No, I wouldn't see that. That's kind of built on the other question about slamming your drink. I don't see an issue with that. I would probably say if there is going to be an issue, and again, I'm just speaking based off what I know of creatine. I don't know if there's any research on taking it over a specific time frame. I know they looked at when to take it, but once you reach saturation, so if you do a load of like 10 grams a day for like 5 days, your muscles are saturated. If you've been taking creatine for a long time, timing becomes really less important because your muscles are already saturated. So then it would just be keeping and replacing what you're using. So as long as you're already saturated, you've been taking creatine for over a month, you're fine, Rachel. That's not a problem. You can take it, part of it intra-workout, and then finish the rest later in the day. I've done that a lot. Merrick, what do you do with people who don't want to track macros? Can you give them a different approach to count calories instead of counting calories macros? Yeah, it depends. There are other approaches, obviously. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. It really just depends on what your goals are and what you're training and why can't you track. If you have if you're just trying to lean out to tighten up and you don't have a whole bunch of weight to lose, you're already a lean person, it will be very difficult. You do need to be more accurate. If you have 200 pounds to lose, yeah, you can get away without tracking. You can do different things. So it depends. I would say if you need something besides tracking macros, you should work with somebody to get an individualized approach to make sure that whatever you're trying to do is adequate for your goals. Without tracking, it's hard to monitor protein intake and things like that. Veronica, if you were staying in a hotel for 4 days over the holidays, would you bring prepped food or just track your macros over those 4 days? There is breakfast served there. Yes, I would do both. So what I do when I travel a lot. For anybody who doesn't know, that's kind of my analysis thing. We travel pretty often. When we travel for long periods of time, we try to get a hotel with a fridge. So the first thing we do is go to Target and grab food. We'll grab pre-cooked chicken strips, fruit, vegetables, salad, things like that, dressings. I love pretzels, so pretzels. And we will put those in the room, and that's pretty much what we eat all day, and then we go out to dinner. So I can track all that. If that's not an option, and then when we go out to breakfast, we'll go to a place like, to just a regular breakfast place where I can get egg whites and something nice and easy. Otherwise, depends on your goals really and how long you've been tracking. Are you going to be able to survive without 4 days mentally? I mean, that's an individual thing. I probably wouldn't prep food for 4 days. I have. It sucks. I probably would never do that again. It depends on you. It's really personalized. If you think that that's what you need and you're okay, it's not going to ruin your trip, do it. If your family's going to look at you, don't do it. Maybe a combination between the two. Just plan ahead. Do you have people who do short 1-2 week diet breaks? If so, what's the shortest period of dieting that you could say you would benefit from them? So diet breaks. This question actually comes up like all the time during every single one of these Q&As recently. Diet breaks. So I would say, now I have people who've dieted for 26 weeks who, no, I don't need a diet break. I'm fine. I have people who diet for 8 weeks and absolutely need one because they're going insane. So it's personalized. Diet break, you're going to take a 1 to 2 week diet break. And what you're doing there in that break will vary per person. Some people don't track at all. Some you bring their calories back up to maintenance, they track. Some you increase, you give them, instead of 1 high calorie day a week, you'll give them 3 high calorie days a week, and that's all they want. It varies. It's basically just a psychological break for the average person. The shortest period of dieting before I would go into a diet break, probably 8 weeks, but it's going to depend on the person. You want to be in that calorie surplus or in the deficit as long as you can. You want to get in, get out, except for people who are, the leaner you are, the slower your diet's going to be. The more lean you're trying to get, the slower your diet's going to be. But the average person, get in, get out, get it done. If you have a lot of muscle to maintain, slow diet. If you don't, we can diet you down pretty quick. And then 8 weeks minimum, and then diet break for 1 or 2 weeks. Britt Mullen, I saw a protein juice pic someone posted. 40 grams in a bottle sounds good. Does the protein quality match a whey-based powder shake? I'm not positive what you're talking about, but I think you're talking about the ISO Pure fruit drinks that are 40 grams of protein and no other calories, no other macros. Those are absolutely fantastic. I love them. Isopure is a good company. If I'm not mistaken, BSN, Isopure, Muscle Milk, I think they're all owned by the same company at this point. But either way, Isopure is a brand name, a good brand name. They've been around for a long time. They do have a high quality protein. They list their amino acid profiles on other products, not on that, just because I think the bottle's too small. But you can actually buy that now powdered, and it does have the amino acids. So it is good. I like those. They're expensive, that's the only thing. But I'm a big fan of fruit flavored protein shakes, like Gatorade. That's why Gatorade's fruit flavored. People like it. I don't understand why more people don't make them. It drives me nuts. But they are good. I like them. I drink them all the time. I just talked with somebody about that today. Funny. Renee. Let's see. Renee says, I follow my macros for 6 days a week. On the 7th day, I weigh in, and I have chosen that day as my cheat day. How do you feel about cheat days as opposed to diet break? So diet break is a longer period of time. Otherwise, what I typically do with clients who, most of my clients have a refeed day. It's one day, a psychological break from dieting that you get every week. Higher calories. You bring your calories up to maintenance, or a little bit above, maybe, depending on the person. And on that 7th day, they can go out to dinner. They can do whatever. I'm not a big fan of a cheat day where you don't track anything, because if I track 6 out of 7 days, assuming I'm perfect, and that one day I don't track anything and I just YOLO it, I'm only, at best, 85% accurate with my diet. Versus if I did a controlled refeed day, I'm 100% accurate, and I've taken those calories into account. I have had clients who say, on Saturday and Sunday, I want giant-ass meals. And I don't really care about the rest of the week because I work, I'm busy, I forget to eat anyways. I just want to have it controlled. And it works perfect. So they will literally eat 900, 1,000 calories during the Monday through Friday, and the weekend comes and they're eating 2,800, 2,900 calories and loving it. So I would say instead of doing just a cheat day, you should just do a refeed day. And if you don't want to do that, I have to have an untracked meal. Have an untracked meal. Don't have an untracked day. Don't have an untracked restaurant experience. This is my cheat meal. I'm going to have bread, appetizers, chips and salsa, more appetizers. I'm going to have more drinks than I can handle. I'm going to have 2 dinners, a little bit of your dinner, and then 2 desserts. And then when we get home, it's still part of my cheat meal. And that's when people run into problems. So I would say if you have a cheat meal where you're not tracking it, plan it. I'm going to eat this. And that's what you eat. It makes it a lot easier, having that plan. Any other questions, guys? No? All right. We will keep going while we are waiting for questions. If you have questions, type it up. So let's talk about pre-workouts and energy drinks and things like that. And I'm only saying that because I have my Rockstar right here. So pre-workouts, should you take them? Probably not. They're you can take them if you want, but they're pretty much just nothing. So you should definitely, if you need caffeine before, have caffeine. Caffeine is probably the most used performance-enhancing supplement in the world. It's something we have in everything. Now, how much caffeine will vary? Sorry, my nose is... It's a stupid beard. It needs to come off. How much caffeine you have will vary. But your pre-workouts, the problem is they would put that term proprietary blend in there. Now you have no idea what you're taking because it's patented and they don't want you to know. So you might be taking creatine, you might be taking caffeine, but you don't know how much. So what I do is I have a Rockstar or a Monster, and I know how much caffeine is in it, and of course I can't find it now that I'm saying this. 80 milligrams of caffeine, 160 milligrams per can. 160 milligrams of caffeine per can. Perfect. Now I know. And then I will actually have 1 or 2 caffeine pills of 200 milligrams of caffeine, depending on when I'm working out. And then I'm good. I try not to exceed 6 milligrams per kilogram of caffeine per workout, but that's right around where I like to be. I feel good. I know that I have to have something in my stomach. And then later on, post-workout, I have my creatine, or intra-workout, sometimes I do. I have my creatine. Now I know I'm getting at least 5 grams. I'm getting my 5 grams of creatine. I have my caffeine. I'm not guessing, wondering. I like ingredients that are single ingredients. I have just creatine. I have just caffeine pills. I think it just makes everything easier. All right, let's go questions. Celeste said, I asked this in the group, but I ask you too. If I'm just trying to lose weight, is cardio every day and no weights okay to do? If that's what your goals are, they are absolutely fine. If you like running, run. Runners run. Weightlifters lift weights. If you don't want to lift weights, that's fine. I think that it's, and I'm making a big generalization here, most people have, especially women, have this, everybody has that ideal body that they want. This is my goal. This is what I want to look like. I want to look like The Rock because he's the most perfect human being in the entire world. I just need to get a lot more bald and a lot more bigger and a lot more badass. But we all have those goals. So I would say you need to look at what they look like, what your goal looks like, and make sure that aligns with your training method. If you want a more muscular toned look, you're probably going to have to lift some weights. If you are just trying to stay healthy and just want to run, then just run. But yeah, you're absolutely fine. I would recommend weightlifting. It's a great lifetime skill. It has a ton of benefits, especially once you start to get older. Having muscle is nothing but beneficial. But yeah, if you want to run. That's fine with you. You can lose weight if that's what you're trying to do. If you have a lot of weight to lose, I'd probably go against running because it's hard on your joints. In the beginning, you want low impact activities. That's why we tell a lot of people who have 200-300 pounds to ride a stationary bike, use an elliptical, weight lift, because you're being active, but you're not putting that stress on your joints and your knees and things. But no, run if you want to. Hi from Toronto. Hi from Chicago. Britt, how long does it take for caffeine pill to activate? I would take it about 30 to 45 minutes before you work out. For me, I wake up at 3 a.m. and then first thing I do after I look at my 88 Facebook notifications, I come downstairs about 3:15. I have my caffeine, a cup of coffee, which the coffee I drink has 120 milligrams of caffeine per cup. And then I wait 40 minutes. I eat a little bit. I watch the news, and then I go downstairs and I lift in my basement at 4. Today I'm going to lift this evening. I have my caffeine now. And it'll probably be an hour after I've taken it by the time I actually go to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym tonight because I'm bored. So yeah, I hope that helps. Finally caught you live. Yes, good. I'm glad. If you have a question, type it in because nobody's asking questions. But thank you, Sally. Any other questions? All right. Let's talk about some silliness that I have seen not in our group, actually, which I'm really, really proud that these silliness things don't happen, but in other groups, conversations, things I hear. My favorite, and we get this argument all the time, is the soda, the pop. You can't have Diet Coke. You'll get the aspartames. It's silly. The same people, I literally saw somebody online having an argument about this the other day, and I know for a fact the guy was on a lot of performance-enhancing drugs, which, whatever, that's not my issue. He was arguing how it's unhealthy, it's going to rot you, but yet he was injecting himself with something made in someone's bathtub. Come on, what's wrong with you? And then, the same guy was talking about supplements. He said, somebody said something about having a Diet Coke, and what supplements do you take? And I take a pre-workout, I take a branched-chain amino acids, which are crap anyways, and then he takes his protein shake and all this stuff. All of that has aspartame in it. It's the exact same. It's the same. Because it's labeled health, you can drink it, and now all of a sudden, whatever fear you had before doesn't fit. No, knock it off. Drink your diet soda. Take whatever products you want. Just moderation is key. Don't drink 3 gallons of Diet Coke a day, and just don't be an asshole, and you'll be fine. I think that's what it comes down to. All right, Amira. All right, Amira is our new client, so welcome. How do you figure out the optimal fat carb numbers while calculating someone's macros? It's a crapshoot at first. A runner, there's a little bit of a formula. I do 25 to 30% of your total calories of fat. Protein between 0.8 to 1.1 grams per pound of body weight, depending on the person, or your height in centimeters is a good approximation as well. Just depends on the person. And then carbs fill out the remainder. Now, it depends. If you're a runner, I'm going to do that way different. You're going to get a lot more carbs and a little fat, and we might even periodize that and switch it around. The carbs and fats are really just kind of a guide. We can modify them. I modify them for clients a lot. I've had clients who I've had the same client who has said, "Oh, I want really high carbs, low fat." Okay, 3 months later, I'm getting kind of tired of having to eat like jelly beans. To fill up my macros. Can we switch up fats? Yeah, absolutely. And then the same client 6 months later said, I've got this down enough, and I understand what's in foods, and I know a lot better how to have well-balanced diets. Can we just do protein and calorie track? And I'm just going to go switch out my carbs and fats. And yeah, that's fine. It just depends. I believe you're going to get your numbers in a day or so from Corey. I think that's who you're working with. Sorry if I don't remember. But there's no magic number. It's really personalized and individualized based on preference and some performance, things like that. Anybody else? 27 people in here. Somebody's got to have a question. All right. Let's see. What else can we talk about? Nope, that's a pen. We can't talk about pens. Give me a second. I will get a topic up here. If anybody did not see, there was a whole dating thread that happened in our group today. Online personal. One of the comments that somebody said today, and this comes up quite a bit too. It hasn't come up for a while. It's not really nutrition related, but it is online personal training certifications. I would say ISSA, NASM is kind of falling behind, but NASM, ACE, and then the one I'm biased towards is NSCA. Those are probably the biggest ones. I personally think the NSCA is the best, but that's who I'm certified through. So that's what I would think. Okay, we have questions. Good. How much water should we drink daily? It depends. Sorry. There were other questions first. I'll come back to the water question. Dan said, how do you figure protein for someone with 100 plus pounds to lose? I'm 316, down from 419, and 200 lean mass. You could probably go 219. It's going to depend more at that point on, I'd probably go with 1 gram per pound at that point. Because you might even need to go over. It depends on your calories, really. Now, you could get away with going at 200. You could probably get away with going at 180 grams of protein. The problem is you're not going to have enough protein to balance out your meals. If you're eating a lot of calories, you're going to be dying down on a lot of calories. You will get those spillover proteins from fruits and vegetables. So if you have a lot of carbs, or even a lot of fats, you're going to get those little proteins that add up through the day, and they take away from your quality proteins like whey, animal-based proteins, and whole protein meals. So I would probably say, in your case, Dan, I'd go with 200 or more. 200 or more. It really does depend on your total calories. With somebody who has a lot of weight to use, it is, in my opinion, really important to work with somebody because you have changes. Your calories are going to be, you don't fall into formulas really. And there's so many strategies that can work, and progress stalls for weird reasons, and people with a lot of weight to lose. There's compliance issues that you don't even know about that happen. Congrats on the 100-pound weight loss already. That's incredible. So good for you. But if you have a question, post it in the group, and post your macros in the group, Dan, and we can get you check them out and see how it's going. Brittany, so branched chain amino acids aren't important. Branched chain amino acids are probably the most important, but branched chain amino acid supplements by themselves are not important. There's actually, there was just Brad Schoenfeld just posted some today that talked about it. So it seems every day somebody posts some. So as long as you are getting your total daily protein in, don't worry about branched chain amino acids. If you're not getting your total daily protein in, let's do that. That's what it comes down to. Think of it this way. Branched chain amino acids, leucine signals muscle protein synthesis. It says, okay, guys, time to build new muscle. But you're only taking in 3 of your amino acids. The rest of them are not there, which is what you get when you drink whey, when you eat meat, you get all the amino acids. So you have a bunch of little workers out there, and you're telling these workers, okay, guys, here are the blueprints, get to work. But they have no materials to build the building. So now you've started them, you're paying them because you have to pay calories for these things, and you're not getting any benefit from them. So make sure that you just eat your protein. Some people, I was talking with Dylan over the weekend, and he said, he's like, I don't, and he doesn't do it anymore. He used to, and I used to. Yeah, I knew that didn't work, but I like the taste. So now I just use Crystal Light in my water. I throw a packet of Crystal Light in a gallon of water, and I drink that throughout the day. How much water should we drink daily? To thirst. That's kind of what it comes down to. It depends, really. people who depends on your training. It depends on the climate you're in. It depends on how big you are. Supplements. If you're enhanced, you need different stuff. The best ballpark guide is to, one, drink to thirst. Now, if you're an endurance athlete or your thirst is, if you're an endurance athlete or training extremely hard, you won't be able to do that because once you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. You're dehydrated, your performance is going to suffer. And if you're a higher level athlete or higher level lifter, you don't want that. It's going to suck. You're going to feel hungover when you're lifting. So go by urine color. It's probably the best guide. Really darker urine, more water you need. If you take a multivitamin, it might skew that though. But you want your urine to take 5 clear-ish urinations a day. If you're not taking that many, drink more water. How would you lay out a PPL, push-pull leg, 3-day week lifting routine with 3 days a week of running a long run? Holy cow. That's a pretty detailed question. So I'm actually going to have you post that in the group and we will get you a better answer. I'll give you a quick rundown, but we'll get people who will give you way better answers than I'm going to in this quick without thinking about it. So I would do 6 days a week training. I do lift, run, lift, run, lift, run. And then day off. That's all I would do. Every other day, alternate. And then just take a day off completely. I would probably organize that so that your leg day is, I'd probably do however you organize it, legs the day after your rest day, lifting legs the day after your rest day, and the next day your shortest run. Because you want to be recovered. You want to lift, you want to build muscle in your legs, but you're not going to do that if your muscles are exhausted. And then to put your long day after a heavy leg train day is just absolutely crazy. So you can organize it, just make that the separation between long distance and leg day. What's the difference between whey protein and creatine? So creatine is a supplement that is going to enhance your strength. It's the most studied supplement in the world, and it has more. It's pretty much the only one that works. It's not going to be a miracle drug, but it does. You can lift longer. You're stronger. It does help you grow a little faster. Protein is protein. It's what builds muscle. So protein is a food. Creatine is a supplement. Whey protein is just protein from milk that they have skimmed, and they take the whey and they give it to you, and you can drink it. Whey protein, chicken, beef, they're all complete proteins. Casein protein is a supplement, just a different type, slower acting. Whey protein has a really high bioavailability. You're going to break it down really fast and use it really fast. So people always kind of take it post-workout or right before they work out, so they have that big boost in muscle protein synthesis. Alex Dedman, from the mess on Brad's post last night, I avoided that like the plague as soon as I saw it. Why is a calorie surplus optimal for gaining muscle? Why can't we just eat a lot of protein? Good question. Because you can't. So if you are trying to gain weight, you need calories, right? If we want to lose weight, we have to eat less calories. I need to think about this, and I just kind of read. I should have thought more about this. So, I'm trying to think how to word this. Give me a second. I'm going to think out loud here. So, if I am trying to come up with an analogy for this to answer in a video, if I am only eating, let's say I need 2,000 calories a day to maintain my weight, and I am eating the majority of that from protein, I'm going to build new muscle, but my body still needs energy. I still need energy for daily movement. I need energy to breathe, to live, things like that. That has to come from somewhere. So your body will use protein for energy when it needs to. And then that protein cannot be used for muscle building because it's going to convert protein and it's going to use it for energy because you don't have enough. So you need to be in a surplus, so your body's using carbs and you're storing fat, you're not burning fat, and then you can use your protein for muscle building. That's the easiest explanation I'm going to give in a video. Good question, though. Is that Alex messaged me? I didn't follow the thread. I just wondered if that was what thread was it? Message me the thread because now I want to know. Thoughts on nutrient balanced meal versus nutrient balanced meals over the course of the day. Just balance them over the day. I mean, I like to have mixed meals because just sitting there eating a stick of butter isn't fun for fats, and I wouldn't want to just eat flour. And like I could have a piece of chicken by itself, but that's boring. So the important thing for you is to have for the day, but for satiety reasons, for enjoyment, sustainability, you should probably have more balanced meals, but a 24-hour period is what I would focus on. If I'm not going to make sure that I have exact portions of my macros in every meal because that's silly. But it makes it easier when you do balance things out. But throughout the day is fine. Dylan Miller is watching. Cheryl says, I'm struggling to fit all my macros in mainly because I'm adjusting to an increased amount of calorie intake. Is it okay to ensure I get protein intake and not worry too much about falling short on my carbs? I would definitely try to plan your days. So that's what you need to do. Sorry, somebody sent me a message. I'm on my phone and I can't see it. So whoever just sent me a message, I have no clue what he said because my laptop died. If you send me a text, I can see it. Struggling to fit all your macros in, plan your days out ahead of time. That's what you need to do. If you are not able to get all of your calories in, you're not planning well. You're setting yourself up for failure, especially in a diet. If you can diet successfully, you can bulk successfully. It is important to that was Alex in the message. Thanks, Alex. It is important to plan. During a bulk, I think it's actually more important to plan because you just found out it's hard to get all that food in. Now, you're probably having a hard time getting all that food in because you're eating very voluminous, nutrient-dense food. You're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, and that's great. 80%-ish of your diet should come from whole, nutritious, minimally processed foods. Thank you, Alan Aragon. But the other part, pizza, ice cream, fried pickles, whatever you want. Eat jelly beans. You will be able to meet your calorie requirements. So some people say, well, if you're a little under, that's fine. Yes and no. The problem is if, let's say you are supposed to be eating 2,500 calories a day, but you're only getting in 2,000 calories a day, 3 days a week, and the other days you're at 2,500. And you are slowly gaining a half a pound a week, which is your goal. Yeah, that's great, but your calories are calculated wrong. You need to add those up, average them, and reset your macros, because then what's going to happen is when you want more food and you eat 2,500 calories every single day for 7 days a week, which are where your macros are supposed to be, but it's not where you're eating, you're going to gain a pound in a week or 2 pounds in a week. And what the hell? We have issues. And then if you're supposed to be eating 2,500 calories a day, and this is the real common, you're supposed to be eating 2,500 calories a day, you're actually only eating 2,000 calories a day, and you're not gaining weight. And then people say, oh, well, we need to up my calories. All right, yeah. You're eating what you're supposed to. So you up your calories because I'm 2,500, not gaining weight. So we up your calories to 2,800. Now you're not gaining weight. Then, okay, well, man, let's go up to 3,000. So we're on 3,000 calories a day, and you say, all right. And now by this time, you say, okay, I'm gonna hit my macros. And you do. 3,000 calories a day, you can have a large pizza every day and ho-hos. And you do. But now you've gained 6 pounds in a week because you're well over, because you weren't consistent. We're making arbitrary changes based on you not hitting the data in the first place. So I would definitely work on hitting your macros every day, planning your days out ahead of time, and eating some calorie-dense food. What I really like to do for people who are having a hard time, in my house, I have 2 big jars filled with those fun-sized Snickers bars, M&M bags, Reese's peanut butter cups, things like that. And at the end of the day, and Butterfingers are my favorite. And at the end of the day, if I'm short on my calories, I know exactly how many calories, because I've done it enough. I know how many calories are in those. And I will just open it up, I'll see my calories, how many I have left, boom, and have a Butterfinger. And it works absolutely perfect. Brittany, difference between whey and isolate. So I'm assuming you mean concentrate and isolate. Whey protein isolate and whey protein concentrate. Yeah, there is a slight difference. Is it going to make a huge difference? No. I would say even for an elite person, it's probably not going to make a difference. In studies, it makes a difference. Whey protein isolate, it has to do with the molecules of whey. I would go with whatever you enjoy the taste of, whatever's cheaper. I personally, for some reason, have never found a whey concentrate that I like. I only like Isolate. I have no idea why. I think it's all in my head. I'm not going to notice a difference in physique or anything like that. I don't even know if without being in a study or a lab or getting a DEXA and having something to compare to, I'm not sure I'd ever, you could tell. But whatever you enjoy. Typically, concentrate is cheaper. Isolate does cause less GI disturbances from what I have seen with people, but there's no big giant difference. Alex, it was me with the message. Thank you. Roma, how can you make sure that the weight you gain is mostly muscle in a structured surplus? You can't. So the slower we gain, the more muscle we're going to gain. Now, that doesn't mean you should be gaining a quarter pound a month. You should aim for, and it depends on males, females, and your lifting experience. So we'll talk men first, and we'll go over the average lifter, somebody who's been lifting for like a year or two. You should probably go for about 1% of your body weight per week, roughly per month. Try to gain 1% of your body weight per month. And we could actually go 0.75 for more experienced people, 1.5 for newer lifting people. Females, you'll want to be closer to that 0.75 or 1%. And the goal is to gain slowly so you do maximize the muscle gain, because you could YOLO and gain a pound a week if you want, but then you're going to have to spend time dieting that off because you're gaining more fat. Your muscle growth is going to be essentially the same whether I'm gaining, if I go slow, I'm probably going to gain muscle approximately the same, but I'm just adding layers of fat over it, and then you have to diet that off. So slower is typically better. It's a fine balance, and it takes a little bit to get to figure out. But based on generalizations, about 1% of your body weight per month is what you want to gain. Celeste, my calories are at 1,700 and I eat 14 a week, and I have lost 3 pounds a week for the past 2 weeks. Should I not be doing that if I'm okay with weight loss? Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to be eating 17, you're eating 14, so your calories are at 1,400. I would just adjust what I would do is go back for consistency, because when you need to make a change, you want this data already there. So what I would do is look back over the past, take every week, just because it's easier to work in weeks. You could do over the past 3 weeks or 2 weeks at once, but look over the past 2 weeks, take each 7-day block, average the calories out, add them all up, average them, and then average those 2 weeks. And that's how many calories a day you're eating to lose 3 pounds a week. And that way, if progress does stalls or it slows down, you know how to make adjustments based off what you're actually eating, not the 1,700. Because if you were my client and then I had to make adjustments, I have to sit there and do all this for you if you're even telling me. If you're not telling me this and you're saying, oh yeah, I'm hitting my calories, I'm hitting my macros, I'm eating, but you're only eating 14 to make better progress, I'm going to drop you down to 1,500 calories or 1,600 from where you're supposed to be at 1,700, and nothing's going to change. And then we're going to have to go really low. But if you can diet down on more calories, I would, if you're hungry. If you're not, just keep doing it. Just make sure that you're honest with yourself and keep that data point. That's what I would do. Elaine, is the 5-2 diet a good way to be cutting? I assume that's intermittent fasting. I'm not positive. Let me know if that's intermittent fasting. And if you enjoy it, do it. If you don't do it. Intermittent fasting there's no magic. It's calorie restriction. If you like it, do it. If you don't do it. I could never do it. I like to eat. Some people, it's the only way they will diet, and that's fine. Is there a difference between macros and keto diet? So every diet consists of macros. So macros are just a smaller unit of calories, basically. It's more detailed calories. Ketos, you have higher fat macros and low carb macros. Flexible dieting, which is what most of us follow, has more of a balance in there to give you more balanced meals. Now, there is no magic weight loss with ketogenic dieting. People who are keto lose weight because they are in a caloric deficit. If I took 1/3 of all of my food choices, carbs, and said, you can't eat these, you're going to lose weight because you can only eat 2/3 of the foods that normal people can. There are most people who I have ever experienced on keto. I know Brad Morgan did keto for a while. I believe he gained weight or maintained weight for like a year or two. I think he did it. if you like that, do it. But it's very rare to find people who are like, oh God, I love being keto because I hate all beer and I hate pretzels and donuts, and I mean we like those things, so eat them. Vegetables are minimal when you're on keto at that point. Pie is gone, and that's just sad. Everybody should have pie in their life. But if you like keto, do it. But otherwise, keto diets have macros as well. It's just a different way. The key is caloric deficit. 5-2 diet, 2 days a week of calorie restriction at 600 per day. Only one per day, but doesn't specify on macros. Yeah, I would just get your macros. You can, hi Mike DeWitt, you can do that. If that's sustainable for you to go 600 calories a day, twice a week, and then higher calories the rest of the week, so you can use that and distribute among food, do it. You would need to work out your macros. So we would figure out your weekly average, your daily average for a week, and then do the math and figure out what you can eat 5 days a week, how many 6 days, 2 days a week. I have a client, Javi, who is completely fasting. He's doing day fasts 3 days a week right now, and he only eats 4 days a week. And we had problems where he couldn't, we weren't losing. I mean, a couple months, weren't losing, had problems with going over, work lunches, things like that came up. Now Javi is fasting 3 days a week and making progress because he goes, I go out to a work meeting, I just don't eat. And then the other days, he can't even get in all of his calories because he has so much food. And he said he loves it. And he tracks, so we do have an average of where he should be, of how much he's actually taking in versus where he should be. And it's great. So if you enjoy it, do it. Anybody else? We are almost at the end. Man, we've been going for a while. If you have a question, type it. Otherwise, we're going to end in 1 or 2 minutes here. I'll keep going with questions. Keep coming in. So, again, if anybody's watching this, coaching info, macrosinc.net. We do have shirts, things like that. For the first time I think I've done one of these, I don't have a Macros Inc. shirt on. They were all dirty from traveling this week. So macrosinc.net/shop. You can get that. If anybody did not see it, Brad Morgan has a thing. One of our former clients offered to pay for a few months of coaching for another person because she had such a great experience. So we're doing kind of like a scholarship thing. If you search for Brad and me, Brad made a post, he tagged me in it, I think he labeled it Macros Inc. Scholarship. You will see that. You can email Brad, apply, and he will go through all of those applications and find somebody who cannot afford coaching but really needs it, and we'll pick somebody for that. All right? So if nobody has any other questions, I don't think so. Oh, here's a question from Diana. Let's see. When I'm sticking to my macros, I always go under on my protein but over on my carbs, and my other calories are in line. If I would reverse that, would that help, or does it not matter? I would reverse it. There is some evidence that going over on protein isn't as going to have too many adverse effects. And define going over. Are we going over a couple hundred grams of carbs? Or are we going over 5 grams of carbs? You're under on protein. Are you under 50% of your protein, or are you under by 5 grams? If you're plus or minus 5 grams on any of your macros, even 10, if you're plus or minus 10 on your macros, you're fine. As long as you're making progress, who cares? Hit them plus or minus 10. If you're dieting for a competition, plus or minus 5. I would say you should rearrange your macros to something that you can hit. Or, Diana, you could do just a protein calorie track. So just track your protein intake, and then carbs and fats are your remaining calories. I would try to hit your protein. That's if you're going to hit one macro, it's got to be protein. You don't want to fall short in protein because then you don't have the building blocks to build muscle, and that is the goal of most of this. Or if you're dieting, even if you're not working out, you don't have the protein to maintain muscle because you're going to start breaking down muscle as you diet more. All right, and you are welcome, Elaine. Thank you for participating. Thanks for watching. And guys, if you have a question I didn't get to it, feel free to post it in the group. You're watching this on YouTube. Join our Facebook group. Facebook, just search for Macros Inc. group with over 20,000 people in it. And I will be doing a couple more of these. I'm off. I think I work one day between now and Christmas, and then one day between Christmas and New Year. So I will be off. I will be here posting. If you have a question, just post in the group. Thank you guys. Have a good weekend. Good rest of the weekend.